Hi guys, welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions. Funny enough, I've just finished recording a video about this, and then someone said, "Oh yeah, there's a discussion thing with Kabam Mike." So that's 20 minutes of my time I'll never see again, but it's all worth it to kind of cover this stuff more accurately straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So basically, there's been a big thing about nerfs. Nerfs are coming in as of the 1st of March. And there's a lot of changes which affected a lot of characters. Also, at the same time, there's a lot of things being changed in general. This is kind of like the time that we had a willpower nerf. And it then greatly affected the way that we saw the game and played the game. And we changed what we did. So, before we go anywhere, please remember that change... We did it once, guys. The community changed, and we still went forward. I'm sure that we can do it again. It's going to be a very tough time, but I'm sure that we can do it. So to start off with, I just want to talk about managing change, okay? Stakeholders are us. The community are stakeholders in fact that we play the game. Kabam are managing the change. It's important when you're making a change to introduce things to your stakeholders and get them around it and get positive feedback, or get feedback in general, to then move forward positively in the game. Unfortunately, Kabam haven't done that. They haven't kind of like sat down and kind of done this, I'd say, in good time, because unfortunately the big nerf, which was, and I will put this article in, this was delivered by Marvel Contest of Champions Strokos 4 hours ago. At the point of recording this is like 8 PM in the UK time when I'm recording this, so what is that, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon? And then this is delivered, I'm assuming 12:26 PM, so I don't know if that's time with Vancouver time. Anyway, let's forget about all that with regards to delivery. Anyway, all I know is that Strokos' thing came out first via MCOC mods, and then this came after. It would have been best if one preceded the other, or if not, we knew about this a lot long ago. So I don't like the way, first off, we got this kind of Grandmaster kind of like powers change in the Contest of Champions. It means that like they're blaming a scapegoat theoretically for the changes, so it's all part of the plan, because this is the collector's contest, so therefore changes are made by him and not anybody else. So to start off with, it's saying about the change of percentage values represent champions' effectiveness. So this then changes it'll be a number rather than anything else. So it's like saying, well, you know, crit rate isn't on a synergy team. It's not going to be set plus 7% or things like that. It's going to be a flat rate. We've quickly run into a situation where the old combat system was hindering us from developing new content and systems that could affect in-game combat in a meaningful way. Many players have noticed that a new combat-based feature hasn't been introduced into the contest since masteries were introduced in early 2015. This was because our old combat system lacked scalability. We needed to make changes to the core combat. To remedy all of this, we are completely revamping champion stats and the impact they have on combat. We have converted all stats from percentages to a new flat rating values. These values in turn now determine everything from crit hit chance to damage reduction. Now, one thing I must say about Contest of Champions is, if they are saying theoretically that if you're going to go into a battle, say if for some reason this affects a champion that has regeneration, if you go into battle with that champion and you lose all but, say, I don't know, 100 of your health points, I believe that then when you come out and it's like, oh, you win KO, you should get all your health points back, because that's the thing is, if these changes are all about changing the dynamic, that should be the case, because there's going to be players that maybe will find the game a lot harder than others, and so therefore it should be a case that if they're getting in and they're fighting, because they're gonna, and we'll get onto this in a minute, they're gonna nerf characters with a lot of regeneration, especially Scarlet Witch and a few others. which is disappointing. All champions will start with a base of each of their stats. As you rank and level up champions, those stats increase and make your champion stronger. Buffs, debuffs, synergies, and masters will no longer give you percentage-based increase decreases, but will add or subtract a flat value. For example, a champion that once had 30% armor may now have an armor rating of, for example, 900. This will then change as you rank up your champion, as well as when you factor in synergies, masteries, buffs and debuffs. Well, as long as it doesn't change the way that the champion, I'd say, acts and moves and all that kind of stuff, it kind of saying with regards to the combat system that will change. But again, like, trying to kind of make the point of like how that points to the point, changes to the point of play is not coming across in so far. So this statement here is an interesting one. Players were able to max out stats like crit hit chance and armor. While this made players feel very powerful, it also removed all sense of challenge and strategy from the game. Yeah, okay, I see that point. But at the same time, Kabam need to understand that when you're doing Realm of Legends or you're doing particular modes where you need a character to last a long time and regen, it is not possible unless you play like there's like I'd say 10% of the community are like these kind of total badasses that can evade any incoming shot, but there's going to be others that are going to require to parry, crit, and kind of like regen off of that because they need to last a longer time. But and again, the same thing applies. If you put a block up, when you get hit by that block, you're losing health. At the end of the end of the game or a match that you have, you don't get all your health points back. You lose them all. So theoretically, to last a longer time, and what they refer to as a challenge, we need people to come up with strategies to kind of bypass that. So again, that is a strategy to the game to then find an easier way to do it. That's why we go to YouTubers. That's why we go to prominent people in the community to show us how to improve and also give us pointers of where to go. If theoretically, it's like saying like, oh, if someone's doing it wrong and someone has the right way of doing it, do we tell the wrong person that they're doing it wrong? No. This is saying don't. It's just like we're going to continue on, and the game is only going to be accessible for. How would that affect things like Arena? Because Arenas is like a tough grind. Introduce new systems that can provide meaningful combat bonuses without just completely maxing out all champion stats. So theoretically, again, were they saying that when you were putting together your masteries and your synergy groups, that all of that percentage was just like getting to 100%? Because I did a video on like how they should change the attribute system, in that, you know, if like say that your block proficiency is kind of represented, and I don't know if this is where they're coming across of, if say crit chance is something like 40%, then theoretically if you have synergies and masteries that are worth 60%, then that should really kind of say that you reach 100%. So every time that you hit a chance based on 100% chance, you are then theoretically hitting the enemy. Each shot is a crit, and then putting the percentage up with crit damage. Crit damage then is applicable to like a plus. It's like a positive effect. So therefore, if you're doing 100% more, so say you're 200% crit damage, then you're doing 100% of your what would be applicable to a crit, which could be a increase on your attack. So say if you're attacked 100 and you do like 100% crit, then is that then theoretically 10,000? No, it's not. It's like it's going to be 1,000. I don't really understand how are they saying to it in a roundabout way. They're saying we got it wrong, we over applied, now we're taking it back, but we tell you that we haven't over applied. It's very hard to kind of gauge what they're going on about. Okay, this I like. So this will allow us to introduce, this is on the new system. We have been hard at work on that and introduce a new level of customization to the contest where you can tailor your favorite champions to your individual needs. Like, what are they talking about? Are they talking from a playing perspective? Like, I know they say like the more powerful ones. It's like the new system takes the power curve and adjusts it so champions at the bottom of the curve will come close to the more powerful ones, and vice versa. So yeah, okay, is it customization? Like you're kind of changing that perspective. So you're theoretically making, Gwen Stacy more powerful. Is that what they're theoretically saying to kind of match what champions like Scarlet Witch? It's very hard to say. While we are changing the two stats that most are familiar with, crit hit chance and armor, to critical rating and armor rating, we are also adding new statistics in each champion that will affect their performance in battle. Armor penetration, critical resistance, block penetration, challenger rating. So armor penetration, a new stat that allows you to ignore a portion of your opponent's armor rating with every attack. Now that's kind of, armor is always applicable to like nothing, because you don't really know the extent of how good someone's armor is. A new stat that allows, or critical resistance, a new stat that allows you to ignore a portion of your opponent's crit hit chance when they're attacking you. So Scarlet Witch is effed. Black Widow is theoretically effed. All the champions that I like are effed, but it's not the end of the world. Block penetration, a new stat that allows you to ignore a portion of your opponent's block proficiency with every attack. Challenger rating, this is a new rating and system that affects all champions. Taking a champion with a higher challenger rating into a fight against a champion with a lower challenger rating will see your champion's stats increase while theirs fall. Challenger ratings are based on the rank and rarity of each champion. Well, yeah, but then that's saying that, right, well, obviously if you're going against the scale, so if you're taking a 3 stars in, I mean, Seaton's done this, where he's taken like 3 stars into master mode and taking 3s against 5s, then does that basically mean that there's 0 point? Because if you're taking lowers against, like, again, if you don't have, say, I mean, even now it's absolutely screwed, but if you had a crit chance team and you were taking it to Realm of Legends, theoretically, because you only have 2 stars or you only have 3 stars against the 4 stars, therefore Winter Soldier at that first point is going to be more powerful against you. Is that how that's going to work then? The core of the system will change in a new diminishing returns calculation. Stats that were previously percentage based, such as critical hit chance, will be turned into new flat value ratings. Obviously we've looked at this. The flat value ratings will be put through a new formula. This will then go to determine the champion's chance to score a critical hit during combat. Players familiar with most RPG combat systems and the rules of diminishing returns will be familiar with the system. Basically, as any given stat approaches the top of the power curve, it gets harder and harder to make that stat better. Meanwhile, stats that are very low will grow very rapidly in usefulness when compared to naturally high base stats. This helps to bring greater balance between stats, as all champions can be decent critical hit chance, but getting an exceptional crit hit chance becomes harder. Well, that's going to be really, really helpful for people doing Realm of Legends or anything where they require this to be prominent. Even with Labyrinth of Legends, and it's like, even like Star-Lord is going to get some kind of nerfs at like 400 hit. Like, how do you build up? I really want to flash forward to the 1st of March, go in a time machine, go forward and find out how this is going to be affecting us. Because and this is the big point, everything that any Marvel Contest of Champions YouTuber has done or made that would have helped people out is going to be pretty much false now. The only thing that we're going to be good for is crystal openings and solo event advice. So everything has to be redone. We're going to have to redo all of our content. And to give you an idea, have Kabam got in contact with any of the YouTubers? Nope. Are we prepared for it? Not particularly, no. We're just as in the dark as you are. There's no lines of communication. They wanted to start a line of communication and then they just cut. They cut the ties. It must be somebody's pissed them off from our little collective, but who knows? What about Synergies and Masteries? Aside from the update to the flat value system, Synergies and Masteries will not be undergoing any major changes at this time. Fine. How does it impact champions more specifically? And this is the nitty gritty, so we need to get into this. Well, all champions We'll see some alterations in the new system. Some are going to see large changes as part of the sweeping changes to the battle realm. These changes are have been implemented to better close the gap on the power curve. Elevating some of the less usable champions and bringing some of the most overpowered champions to the contest closer to their level. Oh, great. You'll notice that most of the champions on the list are ones that many players have been asking for us to rework, either because they need to be buffed or because they just need to be made more interesting to play with to become more utilized. Asking. Kabam don't listen to people. Some of the champions on the list are heavily utilized but are an inadvertent easy mode in some of the most difficult content in the game. But that's the thing about what it wasn't a case that people went, do you know what, that is the easy champion. People needed to find out that. This is why we do content, in order to find like tips and hints and tricks to try and make games more easier. It's like Kabam said, no, you can't do that. This is all about you all messing up and having to pay us to buy units and things like that. Difficult content. This means I have to grind at the game more. While they have been long been too powerful and have been remained that way, we cannot allow for them to continue in the most powerful forces in the contest at the end game goal for the players. Additionally, one of the biggest changes will affect many champions in that regeneration effects are all changed to be calculated off base health rather than modified health. This will prevent champions like Wolverine or Ultron from being unbeatable when they have a large modified amount of health, such as Alliance Wars and buffed nodes. Oh, does that mean that you're going to make Realm of Legends really easy for Wolverine? No? Oh yeah, because that's how you roll, isn't it? Idiots. Abomination. I would like to see that. Okay, Kabam, if you're watching this, will you be changing the Realm of Legends Wolverine then? Will that theoretically mean that he has rubbish regeneration and therefore will be more beatable? Do let us know, please. Abomination, increased chance to trigger Fury-based poison ability. Yep, fine. I agree with that. Ant-Man, increased chance to trigger fatigue. Increased base damage of poison. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Black Bolt now has armor break on all special attacks at all ranks and rarities. Yeah, I agree with that. Black Panther, increased base critical hit chances boost on special attacks. Increased base bleed damage for critical hit, bleed, and special 3. I'm happy with that. I really like Black Panther, so happy with that. Black Widow, reduced max signature ability from 100. Oh, great. Sorry, Widow. Oh, I missed you. Doctor Strange, increased buff cycle from 7 seconds to 9 seconds. Reduced power gain. Oh, well, 7 seconds to 9 seconds. That can be quite helpful, but if you're really waiting for that power gain and that, you know, the life gain, the life steal. Oh man. Change life steal to flat health recovery for each landed attack. Right. Fix special 2 nullify description to correctly state that it only nullifies one buff effect. Oh, great. Groot now gains cruelty buffs as part of his base ability sets when snapping from passivism. Groot physical resistance buff has been put into signature ability. The physical resistance gained from snapping during passivism. Yeah. New animation for special 1 attack. Yeah, that's good actually. I agree with that. The chance to trigger Fury now increases the lower Hulk's health is. The chance to trigger Fury now increases the lower Hulk's health is. Right, so the lower he is, the better he is. Increased base physical resistance. Good. That is good. That is very good. Hulk can now trigger Fury when attacking and when being struck. These two Fury's effect will stack together. Excellent. Special attacks now have a chance to stun the opponent. Duration of the stun increases for each Fury effect Hulk has. That would mean it will work really well as synergy team with Black Widow, because she applies more stun duration. So I think I might have to use this character. When brought below 25% health, Hulk now gains a massive Fury effect. Oh, here we go. Iron Patriot. Increased signature activation health from 10% to 15% to match other Stark Tech champions. Yeah, agreed. Kamala Khan. Increased base block proficiency. That's good. Magneto. Punch on special 1 no longer causes bleed. Well, okay. Well, fine. Reduced armor break amount it's on Phoenix. Increased limit of armor break stacks to 5. Increased duration of... Well, this means that Phoenix is more powerful than she... Well, she should be more powerful. Slowed rate of fury buffs gained per Phoenix force charge. Punisher. New animation for SP1 and SP2! Yes, there we go. That's what we wanted. We wanted kind of an improvement with that. Special 2 now causes bleed. What, I'm kicking? Oh no, it's a new special 2. Sorry, duh. New ability, bleed, all attacks. Debuff. Ah, okay. Attacking an opponent that is bleeding has 0% chance to trigger an additional bleed, dealing direct damage over X seconds. Wow, he has had such an overhaul. The flak jacket made by Microchip grants the Punisher stacks of resist physical at the start of the fight. Each increased physical resistance. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Scarlet Witch. Reduced base chance to trigger Veil of Fortune. Reduced stun duration. Reduced regeneration amount. Weakness no longer stacks. Reduced amount of damage reduction from weakness from minus 50% to minus 35%. Reduced chance to trigger stun regeneration from 13% to 5%. Reduced power lock duration from 6 to 4%. Sorry, 6 seconds to 4 seconds. This is disappointing. It's really disappointing for a champion being used for means of getting by difficult areas in the game. So getting by Realm of Legends, because it used to be a go-to champion. The same thing with Star-Lord. Like, guys, like, this is Realm of Legends. Like, it's going to be... We're going to have to rethink what we do and how we do it. Spider-Gwen now stitches combat mode by dashing back and holding block. Evasion chance on Special 1 increased by 25%. Special 1 now grants large boost to critical hit chance. Increased amount of armor break caused. Trap Spider-Man, blah, 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 blah. Increased base critical hit chance. So Spider-Gwen is going to be better than she is. Oh, dear Lord. Guys, Thor. Jesus. Armor break. You know, I daren't look down and see if Wolverine's been kind of... I know about the regeneration thing, but... Oof. Armor break no longer stacks. Reduced amount of armor break applied when ability triggers. Fury from signature now triggers when a stun expires, so Thor gets the full effect of it. Damn. I really don't know what to say about this. Champions that were useful for doing certain things are now not as useful anymore. Thor, Jane Foster, increased chance to trigger shock 100%. Ultron, reduce crit chance by roughly half. Unstoppable Colossus will now simply trigger at the end of Unstoppable special attack. This is done to increase performance and prevent bugs with the Unstoppable triggers. Great. Okay, Winter Soldier. New Special 2 animation. Special 2 now has a chance to apply 1 bleed effect. New abilities, ammo stockpile, special attacks. Winter Soldier begins to fight. Type of ammo loaded into his guns. Armor piercing. Switching ammo type. Oh, cool. So he switches between ammos when he's firing. Armor piercing. Winter Soldier ignores the opponent's armor rating. Nice. Incendiary. Winter Soldier is dealing 1 energy damage of it. This removes perfect block chance. Hollow point. That's cool. Winter Soldier does need that. Nothing for Wolverine. Why is... Well, I'm glad that Wolverine hasn't been touched. So maybe the game wants to force you to use Wolverine. The laser blast on Special 2 attack animation have been split into 3 separate hits. That's good. Each of the laser hits on the Special 2 has a chance to trigger a power sting to match the current SP1. Special 3 has 100% chance to trigger a power sting that lasts 16 seconds. Yellow Jacket, which is one of my favourite champions, gets a buff. So mixed reactions here, guys. Mixed reactions. I'm gutted about Star-Lord because I don't have him, and that was what I was hoping for, because I felt this kind of nerf here was coming. It was just the other one I wasn't expecting. I I'm a little bit disappointed in that, but like I said, you know, this is we've weathered the storm with willpower. Let's try and see if we can weather the storm with this and see what we have next month. Okay, so there's other things as well about the higher the rating you are, you get the rank down tickets. Rank down tickets just mean you kind of break down your what you've put into the champion to make them good. Obviously, I'm in the line to get where is it? This stuff here. So all this stuff for hero rating and higher. It is disappointing because I do feel that the time that's kind of spent to grind into the game has not really been worth it. There should have been more than this given back. I'm glad they gave back signature stone crystals, but again, it's like I would then prefer them to be more specific to different types of classes, so therefore I could apply them to a champion which I would feel that would be more useful. If Kabam are going down the route where they think that they want to be similar to Mortal Kombat or any other game like that, then how they should change it is after every single fight you should then regain your entirety of your health. That's it. Because then it's not fair for people to be using new champions that maybe they're unsure about, and therefore, you know, they're losing it. Especially with regards to, like, from a YouTuber perspective, you know, we've got to change everything. All our guides have got to change. So disappointing. But you know, like I said, we weathered the storm before, we'll weather it again, and we'll have to see what we get. A lot of this stuff here is it's just saying that they're gonna hold back on the implementation. So for the perspective of playing, you know, we're not going to be forced into Alliance Quest or anything like that. It just means that we're gonna basically chill, find our game, find our mojo, and then we'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there. I'm sure this will be absolutely fine. It's just going to be an adjustment period. We'll see what we get. It kind of feels a bit pointless doing certain things, but like I said, let's weather the storm. Let's get through this. Let's see what kind of a game that we've got on the 1st of March. We'll do some guides. We'll have a few beers and hope for the best. So anyway, leave your thoughts, your ramblings, your feelings in the comments below. I've got a contingency plan if everything goes tits up. So hopefully this is a success, and hopefully all the other YouTubers can get behind this, and we can be somewhat positive about this, and yeah, make some content for years to come. So anyway, while it's still relevant, subscribe to myself for more Marvel Contest of Champions content. I won't talk any more about these adjustments until the 1st of March. I want to see them for myself before making any kind of judgments on the game or any opinions, as this isn't, we need to see what it's like. Bye bye for now.